uh, printed photo to our paper. This will help us speed up the process, and uh, this is good for professional work or also beginner work. Okay, so what you do is print out your photo, enlarge it to the size that you need, and in this case, this is a A4 supposed to be, but I don't have A4 paper, so I'll just cut this off later. So this is 11 by 12, I guess, or 11 by 13, 11.5 by 13. And what I do is just mark the back, just fill the back with charcoal. You can use charcoal powder, or just sharpen your charcoal pencil and have your charcoal over here. And what I do is apply it using my homemade makeup sponge. So I use this sponge. I just placed it inside this plastic. I just created it. Add some hot glue just to keep it in place, and then just allow me to apply the charcoal evenly and without too much hassle. So why do we want to do this? I mean, why not? I don't care. I don't care what you say. Uh, it's just the underdrawing. Oh, and this is not easy for beginners, but if you're used to doing this, you will develop the ability to see which parts to mark, so that when it comes to shading it later, you will be able to identify the edges, correct edges. Okay, so what I do is blow out the lights, just keep the photo as with the basics as possible. Right, we don't want too much shading in here, which we can do by printing out something like this. Let's say something like this. It's like this is like too detailed of a printout, and it's gonna confuse you. So what I do is just adjust the levels in Photoshop and just print out something like this. It's like just to keep the lines as much as possible where the edges should be, like where the folds and where the hard edges are. So that's what we're after. We don't want the soft spots yet. So what I do is use a red red pen like this. This is just to keep me aware of where I've already gone through. And besides, the transfer will work because of what we did like this. And even if it's not too clear, we can just sketch it later, right? So this is very efficient. So what we do is, first I used to start with the eye, but right now I didn't have enough sleep, so I just want to go through the outlines first and just mark out everything that is necessary. So for hard edges, I don't want to mark soft edges really. So what we want is these points. It's just mark points here that we're gonna serve as reference to us later. So the amount of marks that you make will either confuse you, help you, or confuse you. So it's all about practicing this technique, so that when you start creating portraits for your family and go through painting next time, it's going to be easier for you. But practice is, it's just part of the fun, right? So what I do is basically watch these areas here. So where our hard edges are, or maybe a little bit soft edge, a little softer edge, not too hard, I'll just mark it. So I'll mark the dark areas, okay? So when we think, sometimes in the past, I think of this volume, the face, right? For example, this face, this shape here in the cheeks, I think of that as where I write the line. But if I write the line over there, it's gonna make her face smaller, right? So I want to mark the dark spots. Why? Because later that's where I'm going to shade anyway. So I'm just gonna mark it, right? So that's where I'm gonna mark it. It's not too hard. I'm not doing it hard. Just enough to press the paper onto the back, onto the paper below. So let's see. You can just see here. All right. So there we are. There's our mark. I don't know if you can see it clearly because I'm using a Xiaomi phone, Redmi phone, and I don't know. Everything is too bright because they say YouTube has a decoder or encoder that the manufacturer of your phone should have access to that. So they have to have a relationship so they can work together and create a nice like decoding when we go live. So maybe Xiaomi or Chinese companies don't have this privilege. That's why iPhones usually can usually like show a nicer video live. Okay, so don't bother too much about all of this because later we will be looking at our reference and just comparing them. Just we know where we have. It's like these are like reference lines, but like it's almost like a cheat, right? But you're in the modern era, so don't be afraid to use it. Don't be ashamed. People don't care unless you want to impress an artist, or you're not going to impress an artist anyway. You're not going to impress them because artists, especially those who are like perfectionists, and who really wants you to like become an old painter. Even if you reach that level, they're not going to be impressed. It's all about human nature, my friend said. Human nature. So what matters is where you have fun, okay? Where you enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy doing freehand drawing, like using those strings and stuff, and if you don't enjoy that, then skip it altogether by just using this. Just use this technique. Just transfer your whatever you're drawing. I use this sometimes. I draw on a digital canvas, right? So I draw a sketch there, and I want to transfer it to an actual painting and blow it up. So I don't want to, to have to use a grid, and it's too much. It's like it's a waste. It's too much time consuming, and I have a lot of things to do. I have to work. I have to clean. I have to feed the cats and stuff. So, and I have to play my games too. You know, cook and do some work. So, but I really like to draw. I really like to shade. I really like to create portraits or art, whatever art that is, fantasy, whatever that is. So, and sometimes it's wiser for me to just skip that part, just transfer it and just move on, okay? But some people don't enjoy that, okay? You understand? I think you know what I mean. So if you enjoy the process of like going through your drawing again or just drawing on the canvas directly, go ahead. But if you don't, skip it. Save your energy and just enjoy the process. And when doing commissions, for me, this is very important. Unless if the client or your patron wants something that that you do freehand, or you interpret their face to something to something that you visualize them to be, like your eyes, how you see, how you copy them, right? Without using any technique, just freehand, just your eyes. Unless if they want that from you, most patrons that I've met really want very accurate copy of their photos, but with better color, maybe some like wants to de-emphasize certain body parts, like they want the nose to be slimmer, they want the hair to be thicker. So just keep the marks on the dark spots, like where you would draw your pencil, but when you copy something, that's where you draw. It's that simple. In the past, this was very confusing for me because I wanted to I drew my lines on here, like on the 3D shape. I wanted to capture. It's like my brain is like used to handling things in real life things, such that I tend to draw not on the edge, not on the darks, but on the shape itself. There are YouTubers out there who teach you how to do freehand and how to express yourself using portraiture. But for me, it's very like a direct copy and then express ourselves later in subtle details, in subtle ways. So I just want the base. I want the base. There's a lot of questions here because the photo, I can't see the hair, what the shape of the hair is. So I guess that will be one way for us to express ourselves later. Imagine what this hair looks like. I'm gonna have to look on Google what this type of hairstyle is, because I think this is an old photo. I think this is like maybe on the 80s style. 80s or 90s. 90s, I guess. So here, as you can see, it's white on the background. So I'm gonna have to keep my lines within this on her skin. So that's where I'm gonna shade, right? See, it's not very good right now. It's not very straight because I didn't sleep well last night. I have all this like stress, anxiety attack, just minor anxiety. So my hands are a bit shaky. I'm kind of dropping stuff. I was like fixing, creating powder just right now, and I just dropped it. So it was it was a waste of time. And they say that creating art is easy, but you have to be in the right mindset to create your art. You have to be well rested. You have to be your energy has to be at peak level. and you have to be calm. So you have the energy without the rush. You have to be calm and at peace. And that's where your strokes would really come out. So just add some of this lens here. See that? But it's okay. I didn't press too hard. I just like it's just like writing. It's like lightly writing, not too light. As you can see, as you can hear my pen like doing that. If so, if I press this on a Play-Doh, I would like scratch the Play-Doh like a little bit, but it won't bury my pen into the Play-Doh. It's just a light touch like this. You can also hold your pen at the further from the tip, because here we usually like have too much power if we hold there, and it's gonna make our lines like too hard. Okay, so that's it for me today, because I thought I could like manage it, my jittering. I thought I could manage it and just work through it, but I guess not, because look at all of this. Anyway, so what I do is last part is you need to, if you're doing this on your self, just don't remove this too much, but you can do it like this. So what I do is just tape on different corners and then tape the reference on a different corner. So avoid peeling it too much like this or often, because it's gonna misalign. But you can like free just one edge here, just keep the edge here, and just, I'm sure this has been misaligned now a little bit, micro misalignment, but that's fine. So we can also work with that. So okay, so I guess that's it for me for now, and I'll be back maybe tomorrow or next day, because there's too much work. I need to work. There's a lot of work to do here. So thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you next time.